Train, 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 train lover 16. The train, for its size, is the fastest vehicle on land. And the locomotives of Redcliff Loco Yard are the power behind the stations, industries and train lines that make up the well-renowned Redcliff and Guinea Bridge Railway. This is Redcliff Railway Tales.
It had been a hard day for several members of the Redcliff and Guinea Bridge Railway's fleet, but they'd all come out of it with good things. Colin and Caitlin had finally been able to work out their differences, and Freddie had given the wagons the discipline they needed to finally stop them from teasing Dora. While she was jacked up and being repaired, Freddie came to inform her of this. The wagons won't be giving you trouble anymore.
I should think so too. Thanks again.
You're welcome. May I just say how delighted I am with all of you today. You've all given each other significant development. Just then, a call came through on Mr. Eric's radio. Yes, Carl? Alright, I'll be back up to the station at once. See you in a minute.
What does Carl need to speak to you about, sir?
Ah, that, Dora, is a surprise. But you'll find out very soon. I must be on my way now. See you later, everyone. He was there within a couple of minutes. So you found a new home for Jack, have you? That's right, sir. The Severn Valley Railway are interested in buying him. However, they won't be ready for Jack to arrive for another 2 weeks. Well, that's alright. Jack's absence is going to leave a gap in the summer passenger service roster anyway, so we're going to have plenty of time to find a new engine to take his place. As a matter of fact, sir, I've already taken care of that. Ah, that's just like you, Carl. There is not a better one for your job than you. Oh, you always make my day when you say that, sir. Thank you so much. Now then, about the engine I found. 1 week later, all the engines were having their usual morning chat before work. Jack had brought up a somewhat unorthodox subject. So if you want to get the ladies interested in you have to show them that you're the hero they're holding out for. And how exactly do you think this advice you've been rambling to us about for the last half hour is going to be of any sort of use to us? Well, you never know, Vitesse. You could any day encounter love at first sight. Like hell I will. I've been in service for over 40 years. If I was ever going to fall in love, I surely would have by now. At that moment, Mr. Eric showed up. Good morning, everyone. 2 pieces of big news to share with you all today. First things first, we have officially sold Jack to the Severn Valley Railway. He'll be leaving in 1 week today. You know, Jack, I never thought I'd ever say this, but we shall miss you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll miss you all too. I'm sure you will. Anyway, secondly, Jack's departure will leave a gap in the passenger service roster, so I've bought yet another new engine to take his place. She's currently out on her first trial run and should be stopping here to meet you all in about 5 minutes. Please make her feel welcome, everyone. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, the new engine pulled into the loco yard.
Hello, everyone. I'm loving this railway already, and I'm sure I'll love it even more once I get to know you all. My name's Helen.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. Je m'appelle Vitesse.
Ooh, a Frenchman. Hello, Vitesse. Is there something wrong?
Oh, no, mademoiselle. Just a little hot and tired, that's all.
Ah, I see. Well, take on a little extra water today in that case.
Oui, I will.
Good. I'll see you later, Captain.
Helen set off again towards the station. She called me handsome. I see what I said about encountering love at first sight has been proven right. What? No, it hasn't, you nosy Scotsman. I was just a little nervous and wanted to make a good first impression, unlike when I first met Brian. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to head out on my first run of the day. Good day to you all. Vitesse fumed away. The thing was, Vitesse was actually in love with Helen, but didn't want to admit it in front of Jack out of fear of him mocking him for being proven wrong within only minutes. As he sped up the line towards Cambridge Junction, he tried to think of a way he could not only successfully confess his love to Helen, but also without Jack finding out. Nothing had come to him by the time he arrived. Jacob was there with an early morning freight train, so he decided to ask him for advice. Top of the morning, Vitesse. Bonjour, Jacob. I need your advice on something. Vitesse explained his situation. Well, why not just wait until Jack leaves next week? No point. He's sure to find out before then. Well, I wish I could be of more help, but I know piss all about romance and how to confess your love for another without them friend-zoning you. The others might know, though. Why don't you ask them? I'll do just that. Thank you anyway, Jacob. I'd better be off. See you later. See you around, Vitesse, and you're welcome. So over the next few days, Vitesse asked the other engines for their advice, but had no better luck than he'd had with Jacob with any of them. By the end of the week, he was sure that he'd never win over Helen. But the day before Jack was due to leave for the Severn Valley Railway, Vitesse's luck would change. Dennis was getting ready to take a freight train from Redcliff to Guineabridge Junction and back again, but there was a problem. His conductor's radio was broken, and he was struggling to find a spare one. Oi, James, do you know if there are any spare radios up at the station? Sorry, mate. I asked Carl about that earlier. All of them are either taken, recharging, or under repair. Oh, bollocks to that! Never mind, I'm sure there'll be a spare one up at Guineabridge. We're late enough already. Right away, Dennis. Dennis pulled away out of the yard. Meanwhile, at Guineabridge Junction, Jack and Sir Callum were finishing the Picnic Flyers' second run of the day. We've made great time so far today. Well done, Jack. Oh, God. I still find saying well done to you immensely ironic. It's still the same with me whenever anyone says that to me. But you do have reason to now. I'm no longer that abrasive twat I once was after all, so thanks again, Sir Callum. Just then, the Guineabridge station master came running up to Jack. Vitesse has overheated back down the line, Jack. Could you please take him here to let his passengers off, then take him back to Redcliff for repairs? Jack was delighted. Now is his chance to tease Vitesse about being in love with Helen some more. But of course, will you be alright taking the next run down to Redcliff on your own, Sir Callum? Yeah, I should be fine. Mr. Eric may prefer it if two engines were pulling this train after Ethan's exploit all those years ago, but I'm not likely to break down today, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me doing just one run on my own. Good. I'll see you later in that case. Jack was uncoupled from Sir Callum, and he reversed through the passing loop and back down the line to where Vitesse was stranded. Jack soon reached him. Hello, Vitesse. Had any luck with Helen yet? For the last time, you great white haggis, I am not in love with her. Oh yeah, sure. The facial expression you had and the tone of voice you used when you first met her, the way you smile at her when you see her reversing into the local yard every night, what Sir Callum has told me about you describing her to him as, and I quote, the sleekest, most curvy, most streamlined, and overall sexiest engine you've ever seen, clearly you're not in love with her. I'm telling the truth, all right? Now get me up to Guinea Bridge Junction, then take me back to Redcliff. All right. There's no need to be so aggressive and bad-tempered. That's rich coming from you of all engines. Jack ignored this. His fireman fastened a chain between him and Vitesse, then they set off again, completely oblivious to an accident that was about to occur. A loaded flatbed lorry was racing towards the Bexgate flyover. The driver was being careless, speeding, chatting on his car phone, and not paying much attention to the road. Then it happened. As his friend was telling him a funny story, he laughed so hard that he unintentionally turned the steering wheel to the left, causing the lorry to skid out of control and crash into two of the flyover supports, knocking them over. The flyover was weakened. The driver, now shocked and ashamed of himself, went to try and get help. Jack and Vitesse soon stumbled upon the accident. What the hell has happened here? What? What is it, Jack? The Bexgate flyover's out. A lorry has knocked out two of its supports. Oh God, Dennis is scheduled to come over it soon. I'd better warn his conductor. This is train 10233 calling 60098. Come in, 60098. 60098, come in. Do you read me? Why doesn't he answer? His radio must not be working. Christ on a bike. Why now of all the moments? Right, there's only one thing for it. I'll call Redcliff and ask them to send out the rescue train. Back at the rolling stock yard, Dora was chatting with Caitlin when her Morse code receiver started beeping.
Now who needs the rescue train? The Bexgate flyover's out, and Dennis is heading towards it with no way of warning him.
All present and correct, Dora.
Right, let's go.
Jack and Vitesse moved out of the way to allow Dora and the cranes to pull up under the flyover.
Okay, you two, action stations.
Colin and Caitlin hooked their arms onto the underside of the track where the supports had been knocked out and held it up with every last bit of strength they had. But would it be enough to support Dennis and his train's weight? Meanwhile, back at Redcliff Station, Helen, who was covering for Vitesse, was getting ready to set off. Her conductor blew his whistle, then turned to board Helen's coaches. But suddenly, a woman running for the train knocked him over. Helen didn't notice this, and assuming her conductor was on board, she closed her doors. And by the time the conductor had gotten back onto his feet, Helen had already sped out of the station. She too was now heading for the flyover. Dora and the cranes were still anxiously waiting to find out whether or not their plan would work. For now, they could only hope so.
Thank God!
Well done, you three. Bon spectacle.
Oh, that's really done my arm in. I need to rest it now.
Yeah, same here, Caitlin. The cranes unhooked their arms and lowered them back down. But suddenly, the flyover's track began to sag. Oh crap, whose train's due over the flyover next? Helen's, I believe. I'll warn her conductor. Train 10233 calling 60197. Do you read me, 60197? You what? Oh, no, not today. Please, not today. What's wrong? Helen's conductor's been left behind. He can't pass my warning on to her. Oh, you have got to be crapping me. No sooner had Vitesse said those words than the worst happened. The flyover's rails broke, and part of the track fell onto Caitlin.
We can't save Helen now. It's impossible.
No, it's not. I've got an idea. Jack, get me under the flyover. I'm going to catch Helen. What? That's suicide, Vitesse. You'd be in danger yourself.
He's right, Vitesse. I wouldn't recommend going through with your plan.
I don't care how dangerous it is. This is about saving Helen's passengers as well. I must at least give my plan a try.
Very well, Vitesse. Good luck.
Dora moved the cranes out of the way to allow Jack to pull Vitesse under the flyover. Minutes later, Helen began to ascend the flyover. She soon saw the missing piece of track and slammed her brakes into full emergency. Though she wasn't able to slow down enough to avoid coming off the rails, she came to rest on Vitesse's roof and was saved from completely falling off the flyover.
Vitesse! Thank the Lord in heaven for you. I knew there was a reason I fell in love with you as soon as you first spoke to me.
You were in love with me this whole time?
Of course. I just didn't say anything because I didn't want to come across as weird or be friend-zoned by you.
Helen, as a matter of fact, I'm in love with you too, but I didn't say anything for those very same reasons. So I was right the whole time, Vitesse, now wasn't I? Yes, Jack. I have no shame in admitting that you were. A few hours later, Dora pulled Helen back onto the rails, while Colin and Caitlin set to work repairing the flyover, and Mr. Eric spoke to Jack and Vitesse. Helen and her passengers could well have been in for a nasty fall had it not been for your quick thinking and bravery, Vitesse. Today, I'm the proudest I've ever been of you. Merci, sir. Same goes for you, Jack. Despite you wanting to play it safe and not agreeing to Vitesse's plan, you still helped him go through with it. Something which truly shows me just how much you've changed for the better throughout your time on this railway. Mr. Eric, you have absolutely flattered me. I could not have asked for a more rewarding last day here. If I could, I'd say thank you 1,000 times. You are most welcome, Jack. And Vitesse, I'd say you've more than earned some quality time with your new girlfriend. I have no problem with you calling her that, sir. And quality time with Helen Vitesse got, all throughout the next day. That morning, Jack said his final goodbyes to everyone. Everyone, despite my history with this railway, it's been an absolute honour. You'll always be welcome to come visit me on the Severn Valley.
Thank you, Jack, but will you ever visit us again?
Only time will tell, Dora. Only time will tell. A farewell chorus of whistles and honks followed. Then, Jack puffed out of the loco yard. The once aggressive and bad-tempered Scotsman, verbally and mentally abused by his old home railway's controller, was at long last happy with his life again, and for the first time in half a decade, he had a bright future ahead of him.